devastating. I mean, in fact, just today, I think the Azerbaijani president said that they have managed to destroy about 249 tanks, and that's not even including all the other infantry carrying vehicles, and of course all the air defenses that Armenia has is actually quite old Soviet material, so it hasn't done a good job against any of those roads at this point.
You talked to so many people that described the fear. They could hear the whirring of the drones, and they're running for cover, running for their basements, mothers grabbing their children. Tell us about their lives.
Well, so this guy named Leonard Hrovanesyan, for example, he's a teacher at this old music school in the town of Martuni. He was saying basically that you just hear this, this buzzing sound. He described it as like a buzz saw, like that. And, for him, it was a matter of, the moment you hear that sound, you just run inside and go in, and you sort of keep an eye out, because after that, either the shelling is going to come or the bombs are going to drop. It's one or the other. And this has really changed the situation. I mean, you see towns that have been really totally just denuded of life, in the sense that people have either evacuated or just gone to live underground, because it's just too dangerous. And the fact is that it's changed even the way people behave in terms of their phones. So, for example, when we were there, we were told time and again to keep our phones on airplane mode. We were not allowed to take any photos with our phones, if you believe, because the fear was that the metadata on the phone would provide, more intelligence than your average camera would, and that would then be used for targeting information. And just explain, this is a generational war. I talked to someone whose nickname is My Lord in Stepanakert, capital of Nagorno-Karabakh, and he had actually witnessed, at this point, three conflagrations, right? He was there, of course, in the 90s war, and he was there in the 2016 war, and then now again. And his son was actually now on the front line. And this has been the case time and again. This is a generational war that has affected all these people for really decades at this point. And their sons, their grandsons are in the fight. This is what's happening.
The president of Azerbaijan says that with all of his new weaponry, he's been praising it, that he's going to settle this thing militarily, and then they'll make a settlement politically. What would that even look like?
This is about basically exacting some kind of concessions from the Armenian side. To be fair, this has been a frozen conflict in the sense that diplomatically it really has been frozen. You're talking about a thing that happened 28 years ago, and there was no move towards actually settling it properly. Right? There are legitimate grievances on both sides and legitimate security concerns on both sides. The Azerbaijani forces have been trying to progress and advance to a certain point where they can force a settlement that is more in their favor, and they now have the weapons to force a change. Now, does this mean that they can actually go in and overrun the enclave? No, because the fact of the matter is the drones can only go so far, and you still have to actually go in with people. And you're talking about a very difficult terrain.
We have a large Armenian population here in the Southland. I know you've been hearing from them.
True enough. It's been a huge, huge amount of interaction. And of course, there's a lot of fervor, a lot of passion. And you see, there are many Angelenos who have actually sent in food, who have sent in MREs, who actually can't even fight and have died on those battlefields. It really is a tremendous amount of passion about this. And it makes sense. This is an existential fight for many Armenians, in fact, and they see it as an extension of the genocide that happened back in 1918. So it makes sense, finally.
David Boulos, thank you so much for your reporting.
Thank you for having me.
1,000 acres between the San Gabriel and